Hey everyone, Combo here, back with another Empires and Puzzles video, and today we are in day 2 of the Bloody Battle 5-star raid tournament with all colors. I'm going to feature my 5 raid flags with commentary, explaining the teams I bring against my opponents and my tile movement throughout. Real quick before we get started, if you do enjoy this video or find it helpful, hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and turn that notification bell on so you can be alerted of when I drop new content. We went 4-1 yesterday, and our defense is at a D rating right now. Started out okay, but not doing so good since. We are running Fergus at tank. I've got Naeem and Kolya at the flanks, and then Shimmerscale and Just Stalt on the wings. Not working out, which is a little surprising with the D rating, but it is what it is. I guess we're going to have another week where my offense carries us to a top 1% performance. All right, so for our first battle today, we are going to be going up against a Fergus tank team. I went 4-1 yesterday and ran this purple mono team against a yellow tank. I think it was a Rosalind tank, and it did not work out at all, and it was a great reminder of why I don't like to play mono. So we are going to bring our normal Fergus Bustin tank team with my Woodland Fawns and my Astral Dwarves, although it is Bloody Battle, so I'm not going to bring in Bramble like I did yesterday on accident. Let's find Tamlin, perfect, and Ixen, then I've also got Vard, and then I'll put in Isidori as well. All right, so this is a little bit of a weird 2-1-1-1 setup, but I've ran teams like this before and they work out really well. So we are going to go up against Fergus. All 5 of my heroes will be able to resist both the instant mana reduction and the negative mana ailment, and they're actually going to gain mana each time Fergus goes off. So we are going to try to tile dump as much as possible up against him so that he goes off as frequently as possible. I am going to start off with these purples up against Fergus. Don't really have any great cascading options, unfortunately. There's something. And we'll have a little bit more cascading with these purples and yellows, and that should force Fergus to go off. Perfect. Nice cascade with the greens also. All right, and that did give me Peregrine. I might wait for one more purple tile so that I can use Tamlin and Vard first. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get any anytime soon. So I am just going to use Peregrine, and we're going to use him on the 3 on the right here. And then I'm going to match these greens up against Kagan. Alright, now we're going to get our purples. This will definitely give me for Tamlin. I don't know if it's going to give me enough for Bard. Yeah, I thought he might be a tile short. That's alright. So we've got Tamlin, and then I'm going to have Isidore. I think I'm going to use Isidore on Zhuge because I do not want to deal with his minions. So let's use the main part of Isidore on him, and then he'll hit 9 other random enemies. Alright, both the wings are dead. Awesome. Let's ghost these blue tiles. And I'll use these blue ones right here as well so we can get Ixen special activated. And this battle might be over, and it is. Awesome. We are 1-for-1 to start off day 2. Next up, we are going to be going up against a Bernardet tank team, so I definitely need to switch up my team and bring in my Bernardet counters, which will include Medea for sure. Let's bring in her. And then I'm going to bring in Kushanku. He activates in just 5 tiles, and so does Oniwakamaru. I like to bring as many different color counters as possible up against Bernardet when I can. So let's do that, and then I might bring in... Who else do they have? They've got 2 garrison guards that would resist Fergus's instant mana reduction, but I think I am going to bring in Fergus. And then maybe another Garrison Guard so I can have another Mega Minion. I'll bring in maybe Shimmer Scale or Kolya. Do I need a Mega Minion that safely cleanses at the end of each turn? That would be nice because of the effect from Grovert with that Moth Dust. So I am going to bring in Kolya. All right, let's see how this second flag here goes. This is definitely an odd team that I haven't used before. We're in Bloody Battle, so I'm basically using all teams that I haven't used before since I'm not using healers. Lots of yellow tiles to start. I am going to start off with these purples at the bottom right that will set off that little cascade of yellows. And we got a yellow diamond and going to get Kushanku right off the bat. I'm going to use Kushanku on Bernardet and then tile dump with this yellow diamond here. That's going to give me Kushanku again, probably for a second charge. Get a green diamond out of it. Very nice. I'm going to hold on to Kushanku since I do not need to use him yet. And we're going to match these 3 purple tiles, setting off that little cascade of greens that should force Bernardet to go off. Awesome. And we've got Kolya's special, so I can get that Mega Minion that safely cleanses at the end of each turn. So let's use Kolya first. And then I think I'm going to use Kushanku on this guy. He is a Paladin class, so I definitely want that shifting attack on him. Perfect. I have exactly 9 green tiles, which is enough to give me Kolya's special again. So let's hit this green diamond. I'm going to use Kolya, and then we're going to match the purple tiles up against that War of Three Kingdoms here, which is going to give me Medea's Shifting Miles attack. And we are, of course, going to use that on Bernardet. I don't think I've matched a single blue tile this whole match because Oni Wakamaru has no mana. Fergus has some mana, but he gains mana when he gets an ailment or resist an ailment or something like that. All right, so let's now match these blues and yellows together, I think. Or do I just want to match the yellows up against Bernardet? How many turns does she have this mindless attack for? 3 turns. All right. I think I want to try to get Kushanku if we can. I don't want to set off Kolya because then he's going to safely cleanse that shifting mindless attack that I just put on Bernardet. And we were able to kill her with Cascades. Even better. All right, now I think if I just match these 3 purples all the way on the left, that should not set off any cascades. And I can use the shifting mindless attack on Kolya. That's going to work out perfect. Awesome. Very happy with how this match has gone. Definitely feel like I brought a really good team of heroes that could counter Bernardet, but powerful enough to take down everybody. Which is interesting because we're in Bloody Battle. We're, I don't know how many minutes in, but several turns in, and pretty much everybody has almost full health. All right, let's use Oni Wakamaru, Kolya, and then I'm going to use Kushanku on Grovert. And let's ghost these 3 purple tiles. Gonna use that on Pip. We've finally got Fergus's special. And this battle might be over with Fergus's Mega Minion hitting Kolya. Not quite, but the bleed damage did it. Awesome. We are 2 for 2. Definitely very happy with how that battle went. Next up, we have a Quarry tank team. All right. So He's interesting because he adds growth to him and nearby allies, I think it is. Or actually, he does it for everybody. 200 attack and 200 defense. 450 damage to 3, and gives that water damage to everybody. Or is that water damage just to 3? Yeah, just to 3. Okay. I am going to switch up the team and probably bring in my Garrison Guard team, actually. I'm not going to bring in Fergus since they have 3 Garrison Guards that would resist the instant mana reduction with the 2 Dimas and with Archibald. But let's bring in Rosalind for that Mega Minion. Actually, we'll bring in Shimmer Scale, definitely. I don't think there's really much of a point in bringing Rosalind, other than a meat suit and having extra tile damage and her harder to take down. But I feel like I can bring in some better heroes other than her. So I am going to probably bring in some greens. Yeah, let's see what I've got here. Let's bring in Peregrine. And let's see who else I got here for greens. Got Spartoy and Galapago I could bring in. I don't want to bring a Fiend Giver, though. I'll bring in Galapago, actually, because of those Mega Minions. He'll help with those. And then I'll bring in another yellow or blue. Let's bring in Galapago. And then maybe a Toon. Maybe Richard. Yeah, let's bring in Richard. All right, let's go into battle here. Bring in this 3-1-1 team. Richard does extra damage to red with his Toon, so that's going to help get rid of those Dimas. And we're going to start off with a blue diamond right off the bat. I am certainly going to take that. And that blue diamond will give me exactly enough tiles to get Richard. Plus, it's going to set off that cascade of yellows up top. And some more stuff. Awesome. Let's set off Quarry. Okay, good. All right, we can kill Quarry with just that minor part of damage from Richard. I'm more concerned about the ones on the left, I think, with Zaza. All ailments affecting attack, defense, and mana regeneration on the caster replaced by matching undispellable buffs. And then deals 620% damage, boosts all allies' health by 26% damage. Actually, I would rather get rid of Archibald over her. So let's hit Dima with the main part of Richard. That did a ton of damage to Dima. I will certainly take that. And now I am gonna match these 3 yellows up against Dima. That's gonna give me Shimmer Scale special, and I don't think it's gonna set off Dima unless if there's a cascade. Actually, that was just enough to not set him off. Perfect. All right, let's hit the 2 on the right here. That should kill Dima. Now let's match these 3 greens so that I can get my 3 green specials. And a green diamond as a cascade. Let's use Galapago first. That's going to do damage to Mega Minions and then damage afterwards also. Archibald is dead. Perfect. Let's see what kind of damage we can do over here on the left. All right. I'm going to hit this green diamond, which will give me my green specials back, and this battle should be over with those. All right, we are 3 for 3. Everybody pretty much had almost full health at the end of that battle also, even with a bloody battle. All right, next up we are going to get against this Guldron tank team. So I am probably going to do something similar in keeping my Garrison Guard heroes, at least with Kolya and Shimmer Scale. They've got 3 heroes that would resist the instant mana reduction with Archibald, Flamehide, and Fangs Brinwell. I am going to switch things up a little bit and bring in a couple more yellows, though. Let's get rid of Galapagos, I think, and Peregrine, and bring in a couple yellows. I'm gonna take a look at who we got here. I might bring in Toon Leonidas. Yeah, let's bring in Toon Leonidas. And not really a fan of any of the other yellows for this war type. And I would bring in Iga, but they've got 3 Mega Minion heroes, so he's not ideal for that. So let's take a look at maybe bringing in another green or blue. I might bring in Magni for a sniper. Yeah, let's bring in Magni. And I do have the glass versions of them, but these heroes that they have don't have any counterattack for the specialist to bypass. And then as far as reflecting any ailments, they've got the defense down up against nature, which isn't really worth it. And I don't think anybody else really has anything that gives ailments other than the bleed damage from Flamehide's Mega Minion, but that's not really enough for me to want to put in the glass version. I like the Toon versions better because they do extra damage against whoever they're strong up against. So Flamehide will be very easy to kill with this team with Richard and Magni specials. All right, decent board to start, actually. I am going to start off with these 3 yellows on the very right. That's going to give me a blue diamond as a cascade to start. That's going to give me both of my blue specials. Actually, I don't even need to hit that blue diamond because we just matched 5 blue tiles. Magni activates in 7 and Richard in 9. And I'm just going to match these 4 blues and save that blue diamond for a later time in this battle. All right, I am first going to hit Flamehide with Magni. That's going to kill him. And then I'm going to hit the 3 on the left here with Richard. I didn't want to kill Guldron first or have any chance of him getting killed first because then he casts those Mega Minions to his nearby allies when he dies. All right, next I am going to do a little cascading with these 3 yellow tiles, which is going to set off those purple tiles. It's probably going to set off Guldron, but that's okay. He's going to give me these little fiends. All right, now let's match these 3 yellows. I still need 1 more blue tile in order to get all my blue specials. Although that'll work with Guldron dying and getting some ghosted tiles. All right, I'll take it. Let's see what kind of damage we can do over here on the left to Archibald before he goes off. And we should be able to kill him with either Leonidas or with Magni. Leonidas has 565% damage with a little over 2100 attack. And a little less percentage damage from Magni, but higher attack. Let's use Leonidas on him, I think. Actually, let's use Magni. Because Leonidas can potentially reduce the mana of this one on the left, Envari, if that attack does not kill him. And it did not, but it reduces mana. I'll take it. Let's ghost these blue tiles. Actually, you know what? Let's match these. Yeah, let's ghost the blue tiles. I'll match the green tiles next turn. Nice cascade with those yellows. I'll take it. All right. Let's use our yellow specials over here. Match these green tiles, which will give me Kolya special. Probably going to set off Frank Fang's Brimwell, but we should be able to end this battle right now. All right, another win. We are now 3 for 3, or actually 4 for 4. We've got 1 flag left, and this last flag we're going to go up against the Fergus tank team. I'm going to bring in my normal Fergus tank killing team with my woodland fawns and astral dwarves. I will have a couple heroes, as you can see, joining the party soon. Ascian's almost done being maxed, and then Ceres. I still need a Tome of Tactics to get them ascended to that 4th part before I can max them. But let's find our astral dwarves and woodland fawns here. We've got Peregrine. We're not using Bramble, obviously, since we are in Bloody Battle. Got Ixen. And then we need to find Vard and Isidore with this 2-1-1 team. And I believe last time we faced a team like this, we pretty much had full health at the end of the battle. Again, we're just trying to tile dump up against Fergus as much as possible because he actually helps me gain mana every time he goes off. All right, I'm going to start off with these greens and purples, I think, in the middle. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, let's do that. Now, let's match these yellows and blues here. It's going to set up a little cascade of yellows underneath. I don't have any yellows, but again, we just want to force as many tiles up against Fergus as possible so that he can go off, so that he can give me mana. Let's match these greens and blues now up top. Nice cascade with the purples. It should give me Tamlin special or close to it. Yes, it did. Okay, good. So let's use Tamlin first. And then I'm going to use Peregrine on the 3 on the right. I'm more concerned about those. Now, let's match these 3 purples up against Fergus. We've got Vard now. This should kill Kolya, I think. Yep. Perfect. Now, let's match these 4 reds, actually. Frank is dead. Let's ghost these 3 greens so I can use Peregrine over here on the left. And this battle should be over in a moment. Nice cascade. And Archibald is dead as well. We went a perfect 5 for 5 today against some pretty tough teams. We are in the top 1% right now, even with the defense and that D rating. I will take it right now. We are ranked 1327 with that 9-1 offense and the D rating on defense. Let me know how your Bloody Battle raid tournament is going so far this week. And that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy it or found it helpful. And if you did, hit that like button. Make sure you're subbed to my channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.